What started as a podcast about life in Greenwich has become so much more. A glamorously grounded platform of authenticity, resiliency, and the ripple effect we all create in the world by showing up as our best selves every day. That Greenwich Life was ranked #1 by MSN out of 8 podcasts to listen to in 2025, and feedback from viewers has been overwhelming in the best way. And now a brand new chapter begins. That Greenwich Life Season 2, presented by RMA of New York, premiering November 24th. Gratitude has always been at the heart of That Greenwich Life, so it only feels right to take a moment to thank the incredible people behind the incredible brands who made tonight and Season 2 possible. First off, thank you to our presenting sponsor, RMA of New York, proudly serving as the reproductive endocrinology division for the Mount Sinai Health System. For nearly 25 years, RMA of New York has provided leading fertility care across 14 clinic locations and 4 full-service IVF laboratories, supporting patients through every stage of the reproductive journey, from fertility preservation to IVF, surrogacy, and LGBTQ+ family building. Thank you to our event partner, the Hyatt Regency Greenwich, nestled in the heart of Fairfield County, offering a stunning backdrop for luxury events, galas, and gatherings. Thank you to our philanthropic partner, Pencils of Promise, a global education nonprofit founded in 2008 committed to providing quality education to children in underserved communities worldwide. With more than 600 schools built and programs supporting teacher training, sanitation, and student well-being, Pencils of Promise continues to empower the next generation through learning and opportunity. Thank you to our media partner, Greenwich Lifestyle Magazine, the area's premier luxury publication led by Editor-in-Chief Laura Sabia, spotlighting people, businesses, and experiences that define life in Greenwich. Greenwich Lifestyle Magazine connects influential readers with the brands and leaders shaping the town's vibrant culture. Thank you to our beverage partner, Val's Putnam Wines and Liquors, Greenwich's premier destination for curated wines, craft spirits, and exceptional service. Family-owned and community-driven, Val's has been helping customers celebrate life's best moments since 1957. And thank you to our sponsors, Explore Earth, redefining adventure and luxury travel, effortless planning, immersive experiences, unforgettable journeys. Don't miss their exclusive offer, Adventures Await. Greenwich Medical Spa, a proudly woman-owned business founded by Maria Puya in 2005, now ranked among the top 50 med spas in the U.S. for injectables and skincare. Greenwich Medical Spa has expanded to 7 locations across Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey. Sarah Stone of Higgins Forbes Global Properties, redefining what it means to be a modern luxury realtor in Greenwich, combining deep local knowledge with cutting-edge marketing, from cinematic property films to global digital campaigns, all designed to deliver extraordinary results. Room for Paws Pet Resort, co-founded by Carmela Kaufman, a luxury, cage-free, all-suite retreat where pets are treated like family. With personalized care, spacious indoor and outdoor play areas, and a focus on comfort, connection, and fun, Carmela has built a trusted haven that brings peace of mind to every pet parent and joy to every furry guest. Cara Water, co-founded by Greenwich native Bill Irvine, transforming the air around you into clean, mineral-rich 9.2 pH alkaline water. No plumbing, chlorine, or microplastics, just pure hydration. Their next-generation system, Cara Pure 2, delivers sustainable, healthy water at the touch of a button. And now, please join me in welcoming to the stage the founder of KK Public Relations and Senior Vice President of Consumer PR for Blue Engine. She's a friend, she's my career magician and eternal cheerleader. She's my publicist and the visionary behind this entire evening. Ladies, please put your hands together for Kelly Kerwin.
And thank you all for coming this evening. Everyone looks fabulous. I've never seen such a great looking group of people. And it's incredible just to see a truly kick-ass group of strong, smart, supportive, sexy women and a couple men. There's like 2, maybe a few more, all under one roof. When Dorothy asked me to be the MC tonight, I thought I would memorize what I was going to say, like I did 20 years ago for my sister's wedding. But 3 kids, very busy lives. We're going to have to kick it old school style, so I'm sorry. I'm going to have to use my notes tonight here. But as you heard, my name is Kelly Kerwin, and I've spent my entire career in public relations and communications. And one of my personal favorite things is connecting people. and particularly females as friends, collaborators, and business partners, which is why my connection with Dorothy is particularly special. I remembered following her on Instagram a couple of years ago. I thought she'd be a good spokesperson for some of our clients. And during that time, I noticed that she would host these monthly Wines Day events. I know I saw some of the Wines Day crew here tonight. And I remember thinking, that looks like something I'd love to be a part of. And then during COVID, I noticed that she was doing donations for the hospital, for nurses and the staff there. And I reached out. I felt compelled to ask her how I can help. And that simple conversation turned into an invite to an Easter parade, followed by deep conversations over breakfast at the granola bar, lots of crazy business ideas, many times of hyping each other up, and yes, some boozy wine nights. I always believed in Dorothy and naturally felt like one of her biggest cheerleaders, likely because I knew she was destined for great things like this. In fact, before season 2 was even announced, I approached her with the idea of a live podcast event. All it took was the suggestion of something special, and in true Greenwich Life, That Greenwich Life in Greenwich, Connecticut form, Dorothy brought it to life bigger and better than I could have ever imagined. I mean, I had no idea that she was coming up with this tonight. The details are amazing. This is just unbelievable. I'm so proud of her. And with that, I'd love to get this woman out of the poor mop closet in the back and get her onto stage. One housekeeping item. I think it was mentioned, but you are now prisoners. You're stuck in here for the next 60 minutes. So hopefully you used the bathroom. Hopefully you grabbed a drink. If you could just remain seated, because opening and closing the doors is loud, and this is a live taping. We're recording live for next season. We have film in the back as well, so if everyone can just remain seated. And tonight, we're welcoming a woman who has mastered the art of captivating an audience, whether it's millions on TV or a packed room like this one, and she makes it look effortless. MSN has called her a powerhouse creator, and Greenwich Lifestyle magazine placed her on the cover of its annual women's issue, naming her one of 6 women who lead for a presence, online and off, that blends authenticity, style, and a whole lot of heart. Before any of that, Dorothy built a career most people only dream about. She held coveted positions at People, In Touch Weekly, and Life and Style Weekly. She worked the hottest red carpets, interviewed Hollywood's biggest names, and appeared on every major television network, breaking down everything happening in pop culture. Then, in true trailblazer fashion, she launched her own production company and became one of the first ever influencers long before Instagram turned influencing into an industry. Through nationwide media tours, she introduced millions of viewers to must-have brands, earning the trust of household names like Dyson, Godiva, Bacardi, Aveeno, and many more. And because we all know she doesn't do anything halfway, she went on to develop, host, and executive produce Celebrity Corner, a weekly primetime TV talk show with a live studio audience, and that aired in 12 million homes across New York and Connecticut. Oh, and Philadelphia. Over 24 episodes, she led a team of 20, secured major brand partnerships, and sat down with stars from Christy Brinkley to 50 Cent. These days, she's the host and executive producer of the hit podcast That Greenwich Life, a dynamic event MC and live auctioneer, a luxury travel writer, and a digital creator whose storytelling reaches far beyond Greenwich. And one thing I noticed that was missing from this is that she's also an amazing husband, daughter, and mom. She is a leader, a storyteller, and a reinvention queen, and an inspiration to so many. So now with that, please sit back and enjoy the show.
Places, everyone. Quiet on the set. Please silence your phones and remain seated for the remainder of the show. Thank you for your cooperation. Lights down in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to a new season of That Greenwich Life.
The illusion is that change takes time. The truth is, change happens the moment you decide. One decision, one gentle pivot, and the entire path unfolds differently. Don't underestimate how powerful one moment of clarity can be. The universe responds the second you align. So, if you're wondering what to do, just listen.
Ladies, are you ready? Please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to tonight's host of That Greenwich Life Live, Dorothy, Cascerceri, Simone.
Is this thing on? Okay. Hi, guys. Oh my gosh, I got so, thank you. I got so distracted because in the moment, they always say don't work with pets or children. And I think Gemma got overwhelmed, but that's okay because she looked the part and that's all that matters. But anyway, wow, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed with gratitude right now. I'm gonna keep this super brief. If anybody would have told the version of myself in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, that this is where I would be, I would never, ever would have believed you. And I think that there is so much power in anything that anyone is dealing with in the moment, that there's always another side of it. But it is a school night, and it is bedtime for these guys. So we have to take them off the stage. We have to take them off the stage. Jill's gonna take them. And now we're gonna get the podcast started because that's what we're all really here for, right? Hi, I'm Dorothy, a reformed celebrity gossip girl. For more than a decade, I was a red carpet reporter and tabloid magazine editor in New York City, appearing on all your favorite TV shows, spilling the secrets of the stars. But now, I'm a mom of 2 living that Greenwich life in the suburb of Greenwich, Connecticut. And these days, I'm using my storytelling power for a purpose far greater than gossip. My own journey through infertility, IVF, and late-stage pregnancy loss taught me this. Everyone's carrying something hard, no matter where you live or how polished your life seems. That Greenwich life isn't about status or perfection. It's about honesty, healing, and the messy, beautiful middle ground between who we are and who we're becoming. It's about the resilience it takes to rebuild when things fall apart, and the experiences we all share that remind us we're never truly alone. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad we're in this together. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of That Greenwich Life, but welcome to the first episode of season 2. For my listeners at home, you are probably so confused because the only sound you ever hear in the background usually is me talking to my producer or me crying about something. But tonight, let me just tell you really quick where we are. I am sitting on a stage, yes, a stage, at the Hyatt Regency Greenwich, and I am looking out into the most beautiful sea of 150 women. My mom is here from Philly and said, I didn't know that it was a prerequisite that you had to look like a supermodel and dress like a supermodel to attend tonight, but that is That Greenwich Life. When people show up, they show up. And tonight, this launch party and this event is something beyond my wildest dreams, beyond anything that I thought it was going to be. Everybody saw the crazy intro video that I came up with. It woke me up in the middle of the night, and I had this idea that I wanted to do something that featured Alan Watts. And I listened to all of these different voice recordings of his, and I just couldn't find the right thing. And then one of my best friends who's here tonight, Julie Vincent, in the audience, from Clear Space for Joy. Give her a little whoop. I like that. She posted this particular clip, and it was exactly what I wanted for this particular event. Because this particular event is more than a professional moment for me. This is really, really personal. As you all know, I went through like the darkest possible time of life. A point in life where I thought to myself, I just don't know how I'm ever going to leave this place, because it was so silent and so just traumatic for so many days in and out. And I think when I look back on it, and I know that there are other people in this audience who have gone through these really dark times, or who are right now, or unfortunately will in the future, because it's just part of all of our common shared experience. And I thought to myself, now, like that, I used to think that it was happening to me. Like, why is this all happening to me? And now I know 100% that it all happened for me. Because Alan Watts expressed it best when he said, change happens the moment you decide. And we are all very involved with the B word. We are all so busy. We are always doing a million things. All of our kids are so busy. We have a million things with work, a million things with volunteering, with our kids' lives, their activities, and it doesn't leave a lot of room for silence. It doesn't leave a lot of room for us to ever really hear our own thoughts. And without being able to hear our own thoughts, we are not able to really look closely at ourselves. And That Greenwich Life started out as a show about life in Greenwich. I knew it was never gonna be some frivolous thing. I know that many people wanted it to be a Greenwich gossip show, okay? Everybody heard about the former gossip reporter starting a show called That Greenwich Life, and they thought they were gonna be cashing in on all of the dirt on everybody in town. And there actually was one episode that I did in season 1 where I did talk about this insane Halloween party and this thing that happened. Where's Kristen Forlini? Is she here? Yeah, okay. And the fact of the matter is, it is not a show about gossip, but it has turned into so much more, because what it comes down to is sometimes the hardest, darkest things that we go through are the things that are there to silence everything else. And it's only really in that moment that we're able to take a good look at ourselves and to make the changes that we need. And the show is about being our best selves, showing up as our best selves every day, because then our kids can show up as their best selves. And then when we all show up as our best selves, then the community shows up as their best selves. And the ripple just keeps going, which, by the way, you all know, in coming tonight, I made this decision. Instead of selling tickets and charging an admission, I asked everyone, But actually, I'm pretty bossy, so I required it. And I required everyone, it could be any amount, but I required everyone to make a donation to our philanthropic partner, Pencils of Promise. And where is Tom Cascerceri? Is Tom Cascerceri here? Okay. Tom Cascerceri is an amazing member of this community, and he is the director of growth for Pencils of Promise. And he invited me and my husband to their gala in New York City back in September, and I got to really, really understand what the impact of this organization was. And so when we decided to ask for donations to Pencils of Promise, Tom sent me the landing page, and here I scroll down to the bottom of the landing page and it's a $10,000 goal. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why are you gonna do me like that, Tom, you know? Like, I mean, I believe in this community and I have faith in all of these people, but that's a really, really big goal. Well, I'm happy to say, thanks to all of the people sitting here and many people who actually couldn't attend and still donated, right before I took the stage, we have raised $13,710 for Pencils of Promise. So it's really cool because Pencils of Promise has built over 600 schools for kids around the world in places like Guatemala and Laos, and they also help with sanitation and teacher training, and it's just an incredible organization. So getting back to the change part of everything. I loved the part of Alan Watts' quote where he says, just listen. Because again, we just don't know how to make those changes if we're too preoccupied with all sorts of other things. And That Greenwich Life can be very overwhelming. We are constantly doing the next thing, going on the trips. We'll talk about all that in a bit. But it can be very overwhelming, and sometimes we just can't show up as our best selves because we just don't have the time. I learned through planning this event, my career has just been skyrocketing at this level where I'm kind of sitting there like a bystander on a highway, like, what is happening here? Even tonight outside, I'm thinking to myself, whose party is this? Like, whose party am I attending? This is insane. But the fact of the matter is I did learn through this event that I still have a lot of growing to do. Yes, there were certain situations that I handled very gracefully, and I see the growth and I'm proud of myself. And there were other parts of it where I felt like I was really buckling under the pressure and the stress of it. Like my personal growth was not tracking with my professional growth. And I thought to myself, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. Like I don't need to strive for perfection. I did for much of my career. Everything had to be perfect. When I produced my TV show, if ever I watched a clip of myself back on TV, oh my gosh, like a hair was out of place. I said something stupid. I should have said this differently. The criticism was insane. And through this really difficult time and all of this trauma, I think I have learned, and I hope that everybody here picks this up tonight, that grace is so important. It is so important to give to yourself because you are ever evolving, and it is so important to give to others. I had several really good friends who texted me and called me yesterday and today that couldn't be here, and they all had perfectly great reasons. But I thought to myself, in being kind of hard on myself about the ways throughout the planning of this event that I hadn't quite gotten to the point that I wanted to get to, I'm still a work in progress, and I'm okay. And I hope that everybody here feels the exact same way, because it's a journey, and it doesn't have a finite end. And we're all gonna just keep working and improving and being better, and we're all going to do it together. So. It is now my pleasure to introduce my special guest for the evening. She is a double board-certified reproductive endocrinologist, infertility specialist, and OBGYN at RMA of New York, my presenting sponsor, who I'm so grateful for. Give them a round of applause. Because we're all here tonight, truly, because of my sponsors. RMA of New York is one of the nation's leading fertility clinics, and she also serves as an assistant clinical professor at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. She was born and raised in Toronto, and I know there's some Toronto people in here. And educated across the globe from McGill University to the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. She ultimately made New York her home, where she lives in Brooklyn with her husband, Bobby, and their 2 daughters, one of which is named Gemma, just like mine. After personally undergoing IVF at age 34 to preserve her family-building options, she has become one of the most trusted and relatable voices in women's health. Her mission is to empower women with real evidence-based fertility education and to dispel the myths that often surround reproductive health. She continues to inspire and educate through her online platform, her practice at RMA of New York, and her new book, The Lucky Egg. Yes. A heartfelt and informative guide that blends medical insight with personal storytelling to help women navigate their own fertility journeys with clarity and confidence. And just last week, when I was away in Tulum, as I'm sure many of you know from my Instagram that basically constantly spams you with my vacation content, I actually got a message from a woman who I didn't really know that well, but that I had met once, and she reached out to me and shared with me that she had just gone through a really devastating IVF cycle with far from the results that she was hoping for. And she was in a pretty dark place and feeling really upset about it, and that she had seen through all of my promotion and marketing of this event that Dr. Lucky was going to be my special guest. And she asked me if I could connect them. And I reached out, and she was so responsive, and immediately they did. And I thought to myself, you're giving this woman so much hope. And then I thought to myself, and this is why I do this. This is why I do this, because it's a way to create a network to just help everybody. So anyway, please join me in welcoming a woman who blends science, empathy, and empowerment in everything she does, Dr. Lucky Sekhon of RMA New York. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me and for that beautiful introduction.
Of course. And you are such a pro. I mean, you've been on 60 Minutes. This is child's play, right?
I hope you'll be easier on me than Leslie Stahl.
You know I will. Okay, so you went through your very own fertility experience. And I love hearing that from I don't love hearing that actually from anybody, let's be honest, because it should be easy for everybody. But I love hearing that from doctors because I think it really does change a lot of the way that they approach soon to be parents and patients. So tell us a little bit about that. Start off there.
So I actually embarked on a journey of fertility preservation, which I do think is different. I think every journey is unique and valid, but I had already had my first, and I was just thinking, this is really overwhelming. I mean, anyone who's been through the journey of parenthood knows that it takes a long time to start feeling like yourself again. And for me, having a busy career and caring and feeling very passionate about being there for my patients, it just felt like it was going to be a really hard thing to balance, wanting to have potentially a bigger family and knowing that I started in my mid-30s and just trying to navigate all of that and seeing day in, day out in my practice people dealing with the biological clock and me knowing all too well that that is a reality that we all have to face. So
that clock is a problem.
Yes, so we froze embryos, but
I think I went into it very cocky, and I thought to myself, this is easy. I know all the science and it'll be fine. And I'm doing this preventatively. Like, I'm not in a situation where, I'm not sure what the outcome will be. And it actually ended up being harder than I thought. I mean, I did have cycles where I was canceled or where I had an egg retrieval and nothing came to fruition. And I was kind of blindsided by how that made me feel, because I did it where I work, because I trust my colleagues implicitly, and I just think we have such a wonderful IVF lab. I mean, there was nowhere else I was going to do it. But it was weird to experience an unexpected outcome and to not know how to reconcile that, and to feel like I should just be happy I already have a child and this is something I'm doing preventatively, so why do I feel sad about it? I had all these weird, complicated emotions around it. And anyway,
Very relatable.
I ended up doing a few rounds, getting to where I needed to be, and then I didn't know if I would ever actually need to use what I froze, but then, everything that I thought might happen did happen. It was a lot harder to get pregnant at 37, and I had secondary infertility, and I relied on what I froze, and now I have my daughter, Gemma, as a result of that.
Yes, I love it. Yes, yeah, give Gemma a round of applause. Give Gemma a round of applause.
But I think the point is that you can have all the knowledge, and if someone like me who understands the ins and outs and sees so many different journeys felt blindsided by my emotions and how I felt in those moments, it was eye-opening to me to think, how do lay people
That's
that
right.
aren't experts, who are navigating this for the first time, often with preconceived notions that IVF is a guarantee, right? And so to go through a cycle where you don't have anything to show for it, and maybe you're spending lots of money and you're putting so much time, energy, and effort into it, and it's a physically demanding process to go through. It helped me gain an appreciation for something that I previously didn't know as intimately.
Yeah, going through a cycle and having nothing to show from it, there is no bigger gut punch than that, where you are getting all the medication, you're doing all of the injections, you're going to all of your monitoring, all of your appointments, and you're paying all of this money, and you're maybe not educated about the odds. And you think, oh, if I stick myself with all these needles, then I'll just have a baby shortly. And it doesn't work that way. We went through several of those, and it's really difficult. Now, what I find interesting about this is that most people don't know what you know. So you proactively froze your embryos, right?
Yes.
And a lot of That Greenwich Life is about kind of how can we do things a little bit differently now than generations before us did them. No hate on the generations before us, because I have some here and there are some here, but we're always able to improve and do better. And I think many people of this generation, we're kind of blindsided by the fact that we tried to get pregnant and then we couldn't, or our friend did, or our sister did, or our brother and his wife did. And I think everybody in this audience, whether you had your own particular journey with infertility, or you didn't, you still kind of went through that journey with somebody really close to you. And it can be really complicated to navigate. For me, it was such a defining watershed moment in my life where I saw the people who stepped up and held space and were there, and then I saw the people that panicked and stepped way back, many, many steps back. And there's no victim villain mentality. It's just that a lot of times people don't know how to support people going through this journey. So I would love to know from you, what you kind of figured out during your own and how you encourage patients, like how this personal journey of yours changed the way that you deal with your patients.
Well, I think it gave me a lot of empathy. And I think I have a lot of empathy for our generation, right? When you're talking about generations before us, I think about that a lot, because I think we are blindsided because millennials are really the first generation that have had to deal with balancing to the degree that we have to balance. I think it's a great thing that women have careers and we are on equal footing as men, but that has brought its own set of challenges that our mothers and our grandmothers didn't have to face.
That's a really good point, actually.
And they had it hard in other ways, right? But I do think it's insane that we go through high school health class, we learn how to contracept and prevent pregnancy, and then all of a sudden there's this magic that's expected to happen overnight where we do this 180 shift and decide, okay, now I'm going to go from being on birth control or preventing pregnancy to now having to understand how to track my ovulation. And we're left to our own devices a lot of time. There is no formative education.
It's so true.
So I have a lot of compassion from my own experience of being an expert that still didn't know it all in that moment, but also just seeing the conversations that we have with women and with couples every day where they're coming in and a lot of times they're at the top of their game in their lives, their careers, and they've mastered everything. And it's so humbling to all of them to realize they don't know the simplest things about how their bodies work. And it's like learning a new language and it moves at breakneck speed. You're learning all these new acronyms and you feel like all of a sudden you have to become a scientist in your own home and learn how to inject yourself with medications. And it's very overwhelming. So I'm a huge proponent of we need to be having these conversations. I think forums like this are wonderful because we need to bring to light that there's a huge fertility knowledge gap.
There is.
And that combined with the fact that, people who are trying to conceive and pregnant people, they're a vulnerable population. And there's a lot of people manipulating the knowledge gap for their own financial gain. And there's a lot of misinformation and the knowledge gap, and it's a perfect storm. So we really have to be smarter and more savvy and advocate for ourselves and find good resources that we can trust so that we're not blindsided. And I think we're really the first generation to recognize that this is a problem, and I hope we can pay it forward for Gen Z and Gen Alpha, where they're more informed.
So let's talk. I love that because let's talk about the future generations, right? Like all of our daughters and all of our sons, because male factor is a real thing. It's not always the women. And all of our sons' wives, or husbands, whatever it may be, what can we think about going forward that our parents didn't really know to think about? That's like really the question, I think, because everyone in this audience, almost everyone in this audience has a child that is a preteen, a teenager, going off to college, went off to college. And it's important, I think, to kind of start these conversations earlier than we had them. We didn't have them because nobody knew, but now we're having them. So what would you say is your advice to like moms and dads?
Well, my guiding principle has been I'm the daughter of 2 Indian immigrants. And, sex education was never a topic of conversation at the dinner table. So I'm basically navigating parenting an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old by doing the opposite of everything they did. And it's so funny because my mom follows me on Instagram. I recently had to limit her because I was like, she's not into like the open dialogue about sex education.
She doesn't want to see vulva when she opens up her phone.
No.
Yeah.
And
got it.
She saw a reel that I posted a year or so ago, and that's when I kind of like had to partially block her because she was like, I can't
How
believe
are you talking about this on Instagram?
I can't believe you're talking to your daughters at this young age about their periods. Like, girls are getting their periods earlier. And I was like, wait, let me get this straight. You think girls are getting their periods earlier because we're talking about periods? Yeah. And she was like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm like, I think that's what you just said.
Something like that.
So I'm really trying to be more progressive. And I think as an OBGYN, it's easier for me. And I do recognize that the littlest things can make a huge difference. I think calling your body parts by the appropriate name and just showing them that there isn't stigma and shame associated with their bodies and to be proud of how their bodies work. My daughter, goes to school in Brooklyn and she's 8 years old, 2nd grade, and their science teacher sent out a communication about how they have a health unit where they're going to talk about reproduction, and the parent chat was like lighting up. Everyone was up in arms. And I'm like, I'm going to be going in and giving a talk about reproduction.
Right.
And then it became very silent.
You're like, I'm actually the guest speaker. It was my idea.
I'm part of the problem.
So everybody relax.
But I do think it's important. I think we need to be teaching our daughters about the biological clock earlier, not in a fear-mongering way, but I just think that the way we've been doing things has gotten us to the place where we're at now, and we do have to think about it in a radically different way. And I think it's about open communication, early education, being an open book, and making people realize that everything that happens with their body, especially like young girls getting their periods, there's nothing to be ashamed of. This is all very natural.
Right. That's good advice. Really good advice. I want to keep you up here all night, but it's just not possible because we're running out of time. But can everybody please give a big round of applause to my special guest, Dr. Lucky Sekhon of RMA New York. She is incredible, and also she has this fabulous new book coming out, The Lucky Egg, which you can't get a better title than that. Come on. And it's coming out on January 13th. You guys can scan the QR code to grab your book on presale, and also in your special swag bags, you have all the literature about it and everything that you need. But this was so amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Lucky. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I just want to say one thing.
Tell me.
I want to thank you for lending your platform to this important topic and conversation. And RMA of New York is so proud to sponsor this event. I don't know how many of you are from this area, but we have offices in Mount Kisco and White Plains, which is not far from here. And it's really, I mean, we are one of the best fertility clinics in the world. And I'm so proud to partner with you and spread the good word and spread knowledge about everything people need to know about their bodies. And, you know,
I mean, I was crying on the step and repeat. I was gonna say the red carpet because I'm just used to saying that in life. But I was crying with the step and repeat photo that we all took. With how grateful I am that RMA New York was my presenting sponsor and is my presenting sponsor for the second season. I love Pam so much, and it's just really awesome to partner with an organization that's treating people and families like people in some of the hardest journeys of their life. So it's really my honor, truly.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, we are going to switch gears for a hot second. And one thing that has come up a lot with season 1 and even tonight in advance of season 2 is that this crowd always wants more travel content. Is that right? Okay. I feel like in Greenwich, the question is never, are you going away for the break? It's, where are you going for the break? Because no one lets grass grow under their feet in this community. And I love that because I've been a travel writer for over a decade. And if you follow me on Instagram, I basically bring everybody along with all of my trips that I take with my husband, my kids, sometimes with my girlfriends. They're here. My husband loves that, by the way. It's one of his favorite things about being Mrs. Dorothy. Second only to when people stop him on the street in New York City that he doesn't know and they say, "Are you Dorothy's husband? I know you from Instagram." But anyway, episode 30 from season 1, where I had my friend Juliet Izan on. She is a travel writer for the New York Times and Travel and Leisure. That was one of my most popular episodes. And I just always feel so grateful to go everywhere that we go and to be a travel writer, because when I was a kid, going to Epcot was like, you know, traveling the world. And Epcot was really special and cool, and I was grateful for my trips to Disney World, but I never even got a passport until I was 17 years old. Meanwhile, our daughter Gemma, it's really embarrassing to say, but we never even did baby portraits. Is my friend Meg Herlihy here? Meg Miller Photography? Yeah. I still apologize to her because we never even got the poor girl baby portraits after she was 5 years in the making and we cried a million tears for her. But we got her to the passport office at 5 days old so she could get her photo so we could go to Bermuda, which again, my husband loved. So anyway, one of my sponsors, though, Explore Earth, my friends Harsh and Arati. Arati is here in the audience. Where is Arati? Arati is right here. They are absolute masterminds when it comes to travel. And so if you're not a travel writer and you don't love spending countless hours, from 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. going down complete rabbit holes about the destinations that you're going to, also something that my husband loves that I do, and you want somebody else to kind of take care of it all for you, Explore Earth is 100% it. And their specialty, aside from trips around the world, is really African safaris. And tonight, they are gifting 1 night in the wild on them for any safari of 2 that's booked for 5 nights. So you get 6 nights, and it's really, really cool. And with Explore Earth, I went to South Africa and Mozambique on my honeymoon with my husband. It was one of like our most special vacations. And I cried when we left because I figured I'm never gonna come back here. Like I'll never get this lucky in my life again. And I don't know, with Explore Earth, maybe the time is now for all of us. Take a quick look.
Listen. Do you hear the call? Open your eyes. And wake up. Own heart, the charge in your chest, reminding you that you are alive in the
wilderness. Spectacular. Each time I visit, I still get goosebumps. My imagination runs wild, and my soul feels at home. I'm Harsh Patil, founder of Explore Earth. We curate every journey by listening to what excites, inspires, and comforts you. Then, we weave together extraordinary places, seamless details, and rare insider access. Come explore Earth with us. Adventures await.
All right, awesome. So who's going to Africa with me on a safari? Yeah, okay, I love it. All right, so we are running out of time, but one thing that I did want to address, because what I love about this platform is that it's this open line of communication where I can hear from all of you about what topics you're most interested in hearing more about and what things are keeping you up at night or what kind of things you're worrying about or you just, want to know more about. And so in the invites, for the listeners at home, in the invites for this event, I asked everybody, is there a topic that you want to cover? I had this whole idea. This was another middle of the night idea, which again, my husband loved. But I had this whole middle of the night idea that we were gonna do it like the Wendy Williams show, and I was gonna go into the audience with a microphone and interview people and all these things. And then, I came back down to earth and I'm like, all right, we only have a limited time and people don't want to be here until 1 a.m. So I asked people in the invitation instead what things you want to hear about. And I just want to share with you guys a couple of these because it was really eye-opening because some of them came up several times. There were a lot of questions about starting over in life, reinvention, second acts, living with loss. Obviously, grief is something that I talked about a lot in season 1. I am not shy about talking about grief and the kind of monkey on our back that it can be. In fact, I had a good friend, one of my closest, most wonderful people, somebody who shepherded me through my fertility journey, whose dog passed the last couple days, and she was just like, I can't fathom getting dressed and making small talk and all these things. And maybe I would have been offended by that a long time ago, but I got it because I had many of those nights during all of my time. Yeah, you're raising your hand. I know, right? Like you had many times during the grief, being just stuck in that grief where you can't be there for other people. You can't show up. And that is okay. Surviving perimenopause, that was a big one. And perimenopause was a big one that came up with everyone. And you're in luck because episode 3 of season 2, you all know that episode 1, which is this episode right now, is premiering on Monday on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I might have buried the lead on that and I didn't mention it. But yes, episode 1 of season 2 is premiering on Monday. And actually episode 3 with Lauren Tettenbaum. Is she here? She's here. She's here. Where is she? Maybe she's not here. But anyway, she was here. That is going to be a whole episode about perimenopause. So you're all in luck. I heard you loud and clear, even though I didn't read all of these until like 30 seconds before I came in here tonight. But no, I'm just kidding. But anyway, balancing being present for kids while leaving room for personal development. This is like an age-old issue that I think we all have with our busy lives, and we're all so oversubscribed. How to find positivity in your life. Hot new travel for 2026. I mean, I'm gonna do a lot more of that. Supporting and showing up for friends who are going through really tough life transitions. Like all of these topics, by the way, are awesome. And that's why this community is one of the most amazing communities, because everyone is thinking really hard and really deeply about how they can improve their life. But I will tell you, the one topic that came up the most was navigating female friendships in your 40s, whether you're a mom or not a mom, and how difficult that is. Where was that? It was the best way to stay close to your girlfriends when you're older and you're busy, and ways for women to connect that don't always involve kids. And you're in luck again because episode 4 of season 2 talks about this entire topic. And my special guest couldn't be here tonight, Julia Jaffic, Lemon Stripes, but there's also a really special portion of that episode from one of my best friends who you all know and who actually somebody asked for more of in season 2, who's here visiting from Philly, Ali Seponera, who is the anxiety healer. So she weighed in on that episode too, and we already recorded those episodes, and they're going to be so awesome. But also, there was another one, which is how to live life with more gratitude. And I loved that one because there is no possible way that I could have unlocked this moment, this dream moment, which my mother said I've been rehearsing for since I was a kid, pretending to be Jem and the Holograms in my family living room. Probably like making her my poor audience, but there's no way I could have unlocked this particular moment without like the gratitude that is breaking and exploding my heart wide open. First of all, to RMA of New York, my presenting sponsor. Like, sorry, but you guys, we couldn't be here without you. The rest of my amazing sponsors, Cara Water, Room for Paws Pet Resort, Greenwich Medical Spa, Sarah Stone from Higgins Forbes Global. Did I forget anybody? Oh my gosh. All of our partners, Greenwich Lifestyle Magazine, where's Laura Sabia? Greenwich Lifestyle Magazine is like the heartbeat of this community, and to be able to have that support and that love from such an amazing part of our community, and Laura, it means everything. Pencils of Promise, which I can't even believe it. Over $13,000. How did we do that? Hello, where we are currently, the Hyatt Regency Greenwich. Is this place not unbelievable? Like, has anybody been here to see how magnificent this space was where we had our cocktail party? It's just so beautiful. For the listeners at home, I'll be posting lots of content on my Instagram at Dorothy on TV, and you can check out my website, of course, DorothyOnTV.com for more. But the venue and the space that we had our party in is just so breathtaking, with like these towering real trees And we had, the DJ Tys, who's my friend Tyson, who came all the way from Boston to DJ. My hair and makeup artist, Kathleen Fillion. She is my glam girl. I did not look like this at all at 9:59 this morning before she entered my home. Of course, Rachel Biasetti from Rachel Lake and Media. She's over here filming. Bree, where's Brianna from Bree Co-Creates? The photographer, she's back here. Adam Vora from ARV Enterprises. Couldn't have put this together without him. And honestly, it's all my vendors also who had these beautiful tables and these beautiful table setups, but also like it's all of you. Oh my God, Lauren West Rosenthal. Lauren West Rosenthal, who basically stepped off the plane from Vegas. She produced the main stage of BravoCon. She is so don't ask me for the dirt, guys, because I don't have the celebrity dirt anymore, but she does. But she's one of my dearest friends that I met during my first job in the city, and I asked her, and she like literally was prepping to leave for BravoCon, and I asked her, I'm like, I have this like crazy run of show that I put together for That Greenwich Life Live, and I haven't really run it by anybody else. I need someone else's eyes on it because I kind of feel like I'm a lunatic, especially with this like video that I made with Greenwich as the Hollywood sign with the like spotlights, and we met, and she was like, honestly, I have no notes, except I think you should walk in with Nicholas and Gemma. And she obviously has no idea what she's doing because you never work with children or animals. We all saw Gemma was very overwhelmed, but it's okay. No, but I loved that. I loved that that was your advice to incorporate them, because even though she cried and she was overwhelmed, I was so grateful to have her here. And I'm so grateful to have you all here. And this is the most surreal moment ever. Thank you so much. And to my viewers at home, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for supporting me. Anybody can watch this entire show on my YouTube channel. And on that note, I have been working, oh my God, Claudio! What? How am I missing Claudio? Claudio is my podcast producer. He is such a hero. Please give him a hand. My new studio looks amazing. He is like literally setting up all my little trinkets and tchotchkes and my books that weigh 100 pounds, and he's doing it beautifully every single week. And if I missed anybody, Explore Earth, I don't know if I mentioned Explore Earth, but if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. I love you all. Who did I miss? Tell me right now. Kelly, I said Adam. And Kelly Kerwin, my publicist, because she was the brainchild behind this. And so it's been, who? Tell me. I already said Adam. And people are saying John. I think it was just John. I think it might have just been John that was saying John. But of course, my amazing family and my amazing friends who are here, every single one of you bring so much light to my life and so much joy, and I'm so grateful. And it's been a really long 4 months, and so I am going to have that ice cold Kettle One martini up, super dry, lemon twist, and I will see you all very, very soon. Thank you so much.